Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't think that what former German Chancellor Gerhard Schröder had to say about who controls who is a surprise for some of us. But it's worth mentioning it. Why? Because he was involved at the highest level. Obviously, a lot of people could claim that the former Chancellor of Germany is a Russian asset. That means, he works for them as well, as for who knows who else. He refused to disavow his friendship with Vladimir Putin, and therefore he is considered a persona non grata among some Germans. So, what happened here? Here we have an article coming from Russia Today. It is from today, the 21st of October 2023, and former Chancellor Gerhard Schröder states that Ukraine's leaders are controlled by United States of America, German ex-Chancellor. Is that surprising to you? I mean, it's not surprising to me, and I don't need the former German Chancellor Schröder to confirm that for me. I don't need it. I am already on that side with my worldview, based on actions that I acquire, actions and evidence I acquired during my short time on this planet. So the fact that he says it, this guy right here, is just a, mild confirmation. I guarantee you that if I go and I read, for instance, an American newspaper regarding this piece of news or revelation or his statements, they will not fail to mention that he has a strong friendship with Vladimir Putin, which could play into his decision to say it. As I said many times, sometimes I feel, I'm surprised why certain old people with a lot of money, a lot of influence, a lot of connections, don't speak out and then speak up. And this is one of those guys who was attacked by certain people viciously. He was kicked out of some positions that he held in the party that he was part of, and he stayed on the same course. He said, no, I disagree with what's going on in Ukraine and with the invasion, but that would not change my friendship for that guy. Oy vey, you can't have that. So, he doesn't have anything else to lose. Maybe he got a younger wife. I don't know if he's got children or anybody else, because he is going to have it as Trump has it, and his generations, future generations. When they get rid in a certain way of Donald Trump, they will not stop there. Eric Trump and the other guy Trump and the other girl Trump, they will all get it. And after they're done, we have the Baron Trump and the Karen Trump and Trenton Trump, and all the Trumps from now on will be cut from the root. That's the way they operate, my friends, until the 7th generation or even more. So let's read what Schröder had to say. So the former German Chancellor Gerhard Schröder has argued in a newspaper interview that the US government didn't, quote-unquote, allow any compromises that could have brought an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict just weeks after Moscow's military offensives began in February 2022. We knew that. When they came back from, I think it was Istanbul, from Turkey, and they landed in Kiev, that, after a few meetings that they had, one they had in Minsk, one they had in Minsk, Belarus, then they had in Istanbul, Turkey. When they landed over there the next day, Boris Johnson, then the Prime Minister of Great Britain, showed up with the orders. And then the Ukrainians changed the tune whatsoever since then. I think that's when they were smacked around and told them to come to their senses and promised them that, hey, this is not your operation, Ukraine. This is our show here. We run the show, you're just a tool. And if we don't like you, we're going to get rid of you, and we're going to use someone else as a tool that's going to do what we tell them to do. I think that's the exact words that were used. I've been in the room. Now, I think I'm close, about 90%. Maybe even worse, but hey. So, speaking in an interview published by Germany's Berliner Zeitung newspaper on Friday, Schröder said he was asked to help mediate the March 2022 peace negotiations between Ukrainian and Russian officials in Istanbul. He said that although representatives of Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky were open to make concessions on such key issues as renouncing efforts to join NATO, and I'm quoting, the Ukrainians did not agree to peace because they were not allowed to. They first had to ask the Americans about everything they discussed, and I'm ending the quote. Russian officials have repeatedly claimed that the US and other Western backers of Ukraine discouraged Zelensky's government from agreeing to a peace settlement. Schroeder, who has defended his continuing friendship with Russian President Putin, essentially confirmed that allegation in the Berliner Zeitung interview. And I'm quoting, meine Impression, my impression, is not French, meine Impression, my impression, nothing could happen because everything else was decided in Washington. Remember, nothing could happen because everything else was decided in Washington. The ex-chancellor described Washington's strategy as fatal, saying it resulted in closer ties between Russia and China, and I'm quoting, the Americans believe they can keep the Russians down, Schroeder said. And I'm quoting, now it is the case that two actors, China and Russia, who are limited by the United States of America, are joining forces. Americans believe they are strong enough to keep both sides in check. In my humble opinion, this is a mistake. Just look how torn the American side is now. Look at the chaos in Congress. End quote. Well, that thing in Congress was not because of Russia and China. Washington's allies in Western, we got other garbage to take care of, like what we identify as, what we are allowed to say, how we lose our jobs if we exercise our freedom of speech, and this kind of garbage. Things that should be, not even spoken about, self-understood, and move on with adult conversation. But hey, we got children in charge, children in adult bodies, that's what they are, with power, unfortunately. So, it says, Washington's allies in Western Europe failed to seize the opportunity to push for peace in March 2022, Schroeder said. At that time, he added, Zelensky was open to compromise on Crimea and breakaway territories in the Donbas region. Since that time, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian troops have been killed and Western military aid prolongs the conflict. Putin estimated earlier this month that Kiev lost over 90,000 soldiers in the failed counteroffensive that began in June. Now, this paragraph is Sputnik's paragraph. All right? This is not Schroeder's paragraph. Okay, to be fair. And now they quote Schroeder. And I'm quoting, the arms deliveries are not a solution for eternity, but no one wants to talk, end quote. Schroeder said, and I'm quoting again, everyone is sitting in the trenches. How many people have to die? It's a bit like Middle East. Who are the victims on one side and on the other? Poor people who lose their children, end quote. Schroeder argued that only French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz can revive peace talks in Eastern Europe. I don't think so. And I'm quoting, Scholz and Macron should actually support a peace process. Support in Ukraine because it's not just an American matter. But they are small. But above all, a European matter, he added, and I'm quoting, why did Scholz and Macron did not combine the arms deliveries with an offer to talk? Macron and Scholz are the only ones who can talk to Putin, end quote. And I'm quoting again, this fear of the Russians coming is absurd, end quote. Thank you very much. I need his, confirmation, but it's obvious. And I'm quoting, how are they supposed to defeat NATO, let alone occupy Western Europe, he added. This is why no one in Poland, the Baltics, and certainly not in Germany, all NATO members by the way, has to believe they are in danger. Well, on the other hand, Schroeder insisted Western leaders must understand that no matter who is in power in Moscow, Russia won't allow either Ukraine or Georgia to be absorbed by NATO. And I'm quoting, "This threat analysis may be emotional, but it is real in Russia," he said. "The West must understand this and accept compromises accordingly. Otherwise, peace will be difficult to achieve." Well, as I said, they can say that he is, accused Schroeder of being a Russian tool. I don't, as I said, I didn't need his confirmation because that's partly what I also think it's happening. I said many times, this garbage in Ukraine is controlled by the Americans. It is a controlled war. It's about hegemony, destroying Russia sooner or later so that they can take on China. The problem is they were busy with their garbage in the Middle East, and they scared the other guys too hard, and they said, you know what, we're going to form our alliance. And they did. The other guys advanced with the weasel states in the Eastern Europe, with joining NATO and the European Union. In the meantime, Russia warned them many times about don't come closer, don't come closer. The other guys said, so what are you going to do about it? Nothing, shut the fuck up and do what you're told to do. So now Russia became stronger, China became stronger, and now it's harder. Now when they're like waking up from the little thing that they were doing around the world, Al Capone is like, oh, we got two problems here. And we got a majority, I would say, of the problem comes from the rest of the world, which will join those guys. Not them, because they already had the chance in the past 31 years, or let's say 31 years, put it from 1991 to 2002, let's say, until the Russians invaded over there. They had their chance, and that was Pax Americana. See how much Pax we had. So that's Americans' vision of a new world order. I don't like that, and many other countries did not like that, because that was based on power. Power, threats, blackmail, regime change, and intervention, bombardment. So who would like that if you're at the receiving end? So everybody was stressed to say or do anything, because these guys will apply their 4 diplomatic tools, as I just mentioned: threats, blackmail, regime change, and then invasion. So Schroeder, I'm wondering how many days he's got on this planet with us breathing. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You know what I mean. And it's not going to be the Russians with their failed poisoning attempts. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.